Hello beauties, welcome back to yet another YouTube video. On this video, I'm going to be sharing 101 tips on how to apply blush on your face. I'm also going to be showing you 3 different formulas and how to effectively put on these 3 different formulas so that you make the best out of your blush application. I was actually watching one of my favorite celebrity makeup artists, Nikki, and she was actually doing a tutorial on this, and I was actually thinking to myself, actually coming to think about it, when I actually started my makeup journey, blush was actually quite intimidating. And so I thought maybe there are some people who find putting blush on their face quite intimidating, or they find that when they put blush, they put on too much. I'm going to show you effective ways as a beginner on how to still look put together, even though you don't have those professional skills. So I did mention that I'm going to be showing you 3 formulas. So first up is a powder formula. And excuse me if my camera goes out of focus. Just want to show you that. This is a powder formula, and this is the blush by LA girl called Just Blushing. These retail really cheap, you guys, and they're forever on sale. I think this came at this point is just trying to sell them out. I think they're like 40 rand or 30 rand. And second up is your cream formula, and this is what it looks like. That's your cream formula, and this is the cream blush stick in the shade Cheeky, and this is by Scarlett Hill. And lastly is your liquid formula. So I don't actually have liquid blush, so I'm going to be using a lipstick, which is the perfect formula. It has the same formula or consistency as a liquid blush, so you can opt for that if you don't have one. And this is by Maybelline New York. It's the Vivid Matte Liquid Lipstick. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to firstly start off with our powder blush. So with powder blushes, I found that it's actually much more effective, at least for me, to apply powder blush with a powder brush. So we're going to pick up some blush onto your brush. And I know the next thing that you would see us do is immediately pat it onto our faces, but I feel like people who are like well advanced in their makeup journey can get away with that. Sometimes some of these powder blushes can be quite pigmented, and by the time you actually put it on your face, you're looking like, I don't know, because your cheeks are like looking super red or super pink, and it just doesn't look cute. I know some people explain it away, or we that love makeup explain it away with the fact that throughout the day powder blushes don't really last, so it does kind of like vanish. But when you initially put it, if you want to get the best out of your application, you are going to pick up the powder onto your brush, and the next thing you're gonna do is pat it onto the palm of your hand, and that's just basically going to evenly distribute the powder onto your brush. And so that by the time you put on your powder onto your face, the harshness of the pigment is kind of like taken away by the fact that you already buffed it in on the palm of your hand. And then next thing what we're going to do, so I'm going to apply it on the one half of my face, and I think I'll wipe off the part or the area where I applied it, and then test out the next one just so that you guys can properly see like the difference in these formulas. So what we're gonna do is lightly pat up and down, lightly pat that up and down, and that already is looking, so you're not going to try and like swirl the brush from get-go. You're just gonna lightly tap it in the area that you want your powder blush, lightly pat it, and once you've lightly patted it, you can then go in and kind of like buff it out in circular motions, and just see how chic that looks. So I'm just gonna quickly wipe that off. and then reapply my foundation. Okay, next we're gonna go in with our cream blush. I actually smudged this, you guys, because I didn't roll it back down. What a train smash. Anyway, so with this cream blush, it actually has a brush behind it, but I'm not gonna advise anyone to use if you do happen to buy this particular stick, do not directly apply it to your cheeks and do not apply it using that brush. So what we're going to do is that we're going to apply, we're going to apply this cream blush behind our hand. And this as well is going to help you evenly distribute the product. So we're just going to smudge it behind our hands and warm it up basically. Okay, and that's what it looks like. And with the cream blush, I think it's advisable to apply it using a beauty sponge. So we're just going to dip our beauty sponge into that cream blush and pick up the product there. This again also helps you guys that you're not taking up too much product, because with the cream blush, once it's on your face, like it's very difficult to work around it, like to remove it, especially if you are a beginner. And then we're just going to tap that in, just up and down. I think I'm gonna take up more. This is a shimmer blush. So you're just gonna tap that like so. And just look at that. Just look at that. If you obviously want much more color, much more pigmentation, you can repeat that again. Put much more blush behind your hand and just continue dipping that in. This one is a shimmer cream blush, so you'd notice that's why my cheeks are looking, you know, glowy. But I love me a cream blush. I just think they are beautiful, especially on days where it's much more colder, or on days where you just want to look glowy. I think it just brings that plump to your skin as opposed to powder blushes. So I really enjoy cream blushes. But if you really enjoy cream blushes but you don't enjoy like how moisturizing they make you look, or even if you want your cream blush to last, you can actually go over like this step with the powder brush on top, with the powder blush on top, if you really want your blush to last the whole day. So that's a key tip if you have a problem of your blush not lasting. Yes, blush, like it's really, I don't know, there's just something about the formulas in them that make them not last. But if you really want to stretch the hours or the length of how long you actually wear, or how long your blush is actually visible on your face, try using two different formulas. Start off with the cream blush and then go over with the powder blush. That's if you're going for a more matte look. But if you're going for more of like a soft glam, more like a natural makeup look, and you want that glowy effect, you can actually start off with the powder blush and then go on top with the cream blush. I know it might seem contrary because we normally start off with cream products and then follow up with powder, but you can actually swap it, and if you try it, it actually does work, you guys. Let me just quickly add much more so that it is much more visible so you guys can actually see. So I'm going in again with more. I love a glowy blush so much. It's gonna give me that. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see that a lot more better. Okay, and that is it. I can show you the difference. Seamless again. Looks like it is my own skin. That will also be dependent on the shade that you're using. And then that's without it. So I trust you are able to see the difference, even though the pigmentation or the color is not really coming through. I hope it's coming through on camera, but you should be able to see the difference. And that is your cream blush, how to apply your cream blush using a beauty sponge. Lastly, we are going to use our liquid formula. And I've seen on the streets that normally with liquid blushes, they basically just take it and put like 3 dots. I've done that before, but again, this is strictly for beginners. Like, stay away from that method if you are a beginner. If you're a beginner and you are new or unfamiliar with certain formulas, especially if they are liquid formulas, put them behind your hand and apply them from behind your hand. That's again going to help you to make sure that you're not over putting or putting too much product, especially if you're not familiar with the product. So again, we're gonna put it behind our hand. And again, that's the beauty of makeup, guys, that makeup can be so versatile. You can actually use lipstick as a blush. This will be dependent on how sensitive your skin is, so you might as well check out the ingredients to make sure that it's still going to be safe applying it on your face as opposed to your lips. And if you are really on a budget and you want to explore makeup, and you really want to improve your makeup game, just keep that in mind, that makeup is very versatile. So you can actually use like one product for 3 different things on your face. Okay, so let me just pick up some products. Again, we're going to be using a beauty sponge. When it comes to cream blush and liquid blush, beauty sponge for a beginner is the way to go. Again, we're just gonna tap that in. Just tap that in. So this one is also glowy, but not as glowy as the cream blush. I guess it was because it's got shimmer inside of it, and shimmer does that. Just look at how beautiful that is. The point of makeup, guys, is that it needs to blend into the whole look. There shouldn't be like where you're able to tell like a harsh difference, that this is where the blush starts and this is where it ends. So just look at that. This is gorgeous, to say the least. This is gorgeous, to say the least. I'm gonna do the other side of my cheeks. Since this is the last formula, I'm showing you guys. This has a sheer finish, and I think this might be my favorite. Sheer finish, so it is not super glowy, but has that luminous effect in it. Just look at that. Just so that you can see, and I hope my camera is able to like pick up the difference that I'm trying to show you between the liquid, between the powder, the cream, and the liquid formula. So far, based on what I've showed you so far, I think the liquid might be my favorite. And that, guys, is my 101 tips and techniques on how to effectively or get the most out of your blush application. So tell me what you think of these techniques. Tell me which formula do you prefer, which formula do you find is much more easier to work with. Please do make sure that you like the video before exiting it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.